Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Valley View Cougars football is what we're talking. Scot Wasilchak, running back, joining us right now. Well, Scott, let's first talk about when you first stepped onto the varsity football field. Did you feel the pressure of the Wasilchak name? It's just one of those names when you talk local football, people know who the Wasilchaks are. Did you feel that pressure, or was it just, hey, you're your own person, just get out there and play the game?
It was a bit nerve-wracking at first, starting with my grandfather, coach for many years, then my uncle and father coach, and they both played. And there was some pressure to live up to my name, but once I got more experience and things went on, I got more comfortable, and I just tried being my own person and do the best I can.
Well, talk a little bit about those bloodlines, because I'm sure and naturally you have some gifts, and then there's some things you have to work on. But let's first talk about having that football savvy. Is that something that you always did when you were young?
Yeah, when I was young, my father and grandfather worked with me a lot, just working on my skills and teaching me about the game. And it's something that runs in our family. And as I got older, I learned to grow and like the sport more and worked as much as I can, and they taught me all I can to be the best I could as a running back.
Let's talk a little bit about your running back abilities. Tell us what kind of running back you are. You can consider yourself fast, quick, powerful. What are some attributes you would say that you have when you're out there on the football field?
I consider myself a quick back. I run sometimes a little bit bigger than I am, if that makes sense. I'm pretty small, but I get away from people pretty easily just because of my size. I'm small. I can sneak through sometimes and make quick decisions downfield running the ball.
How about some of the things that you self-evaluated and said, listen, I want to be a little better at this or a lot better at that? What are some things you think you needed to work on going into your senior season there at Valley View?
I've worked a lot on catching the ball. That's one thing I've had to work on since I was young. I've always struggled with catching, so all the coaches have worked with me with that. And I've worked with making better cuts downfield and better decisions.
Scott, when you talk about this season at Valley View, you have some experience coming back up front. And, of course, I'm sure as a running back, you want to make sure your offensive line is working hard and, of course, there for you to get those blocks because you're only as good as your offensive line.
Right. Our line's been working very hard. We have returning starters at the center and guard positions, and they've been trying to teach all the younger kids the right way to do things and how to work. And the coaches have been working with them also, and I think we'll be okay. The line's been doing a great job this year, and I have a lot of faith in them.
Scott, when you talk about the team overall, defensively and offensively, AAA is always pretty darn tough. Talk about what you feel you guys will be this year, as competitive as some of the others, because there's always some good teams both in the Lackawanna and the Wyoming Valley Conference when it's AAA football.
Right, AAA is a tough conference to play in. There's a lot of big schools, and Valley View is one of the smaller schools that are in it, and there's always tough competition. I think this year we'll do very well. We have a lot of experience back. The whole team's working really hard, and we should have a great season.
Talk about your relationship with Coach Hawanitz, of course, a guy who played in the system, and now here he is coaching. Tell us about his philosophy and the other coaches' philosophy, because everybody takes it pretty seriously in Valley View country.
Yeah, we have a great relationship with all the coaches. We joke around a lot. We think of them more as family other than our coaches. There's a lot of experience, and they pass on the best they can to make us a better player.
Scott, you also do some track and field there at Valley View, and you do a pretty darn good job in the classroom as well. Tell us about balancing the athletics and the academics. I'm sure all that starts at home.
Right. Academics are always first. If you don't have a good grade, you can't play, so that's one thing you have to worry about. I studied a lot to try to do the best I can in the classroom, get good grades, and sometimes it's difficult balancing it with athletics, but we have study halls down at football to make sure that all our grades are up. We help each other. The coaches help us. And most of the time, it's not really a problem balancing it.
How about some fun things that maybe the Wasilchak family does? I mean, you guys kind of a beach family, a mountain family. Are there some traditional things that you guys do maybe over the holidays? Tell us some stories about the Wasilchaks.
We're big into hunting and fishing. Started with my grandfather. He was a big hunter and fisher, and he passed it on to my father and uncle. And we go hunting and fishing a lot together. That's one thing we really like to do.
Well, always good to keep that family tradition going, that's for sure. And Scott, future endeavors for you, any thoughts on what you want to do at the next level? Is college something you're thinking about, and athletics possible as well?
Possibly, if I was able to. I'd like to play in college if the opportunity came, but I'm not really sure what I want to do yet, and hopefully I'll be deciding pretty soon since my senior year.
Well, Scot Wasilchak, great to catch up with you. We wish you well. You've had some successful years there at Valley View, but I'm sure you're hoping your senior year is your most successful along with your teammates. We wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
A humble Scot Wasilchak from the Valley View Cougars here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.